Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor. I'm your host, Jamie Bloom. Today, Duane Toews talks with John Jenho with Neogen about genomics. He talks about important traits that cow-calf operators can get through crossbreeding. Next up, Greg Akagi brings us the Kansas soybean update. Then Duane Toews talks to Chad Ellis with Noble Research Institutue. Learn the history behind the institute and what agricultural services they offer. Find out what's going on around the state with the Kansas Farm Bureau update. And to wrap up, it's Plain Talk with Kyle and Duane. It's all coming up on Farm Factor. Stay tuned.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. Watch Ag AM in Kansas online at agamandkansas.com.
In 1821, a trade route was opened from Missouri in the United States across prairies and mountains to Mexico. In 2021, we will mark 200 years of epic conflicts and grand adventures, larger-than-life personalities, and sweeping landscapes. Join us on an historic journey. The Santa Fe Trail lives on.
Find us on social media or santafetrail.org.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Wheat. Learn more at rediscoverwheat.org.
Welcome back to Farm Factor. Duane is with John Jenho of Neogen. He explains the importance of crossbreeding in the cow-calf industry.
Duane Toews joining once again here on Ag AM in Kansas. An opportunity to catch up with John Jenho with genomics and talking about genomics with Neogen. And before we get to there, John, let's talk a little bit about crossbreeding. Certainly, it's been around since the beginning of animal husbandry, but in some parts of the country, we've kind of lost some of that philosophy on the heterosis side. Talk a little bit about what the advantages are from a heterosis standpoint from your perspective.
Yeah, so I agree with you. You know, we've known about the benefits of crossbreeding for quite a while, but we've actually seen crossbreeding decrease in recent past. And I think a lot of that is our focus on terminal type of traits, which are more impacted by selection and, and certain breeds perform better than others for terminal type of traits. The real benefit of heterosis is not in terminal traits. It's not in carcass. It's not in feedlot performance so much as maternal traits. It's how long does a cow stay in the herd? What's the probability she's going to breed? Probability you're going to have deaths and treatment issues and all of those types of things. So it's longevity, it's fertility, it's health, and ultimately those are the traits that are the most important for economically for commercial cow-calf operators. So I really think that crossbreeding makes the most sense for cow-calf operators, and that's whether it's a big operator or a small operator. It doesn't matter. Heterosis is incredibly important for those producers.
Certainly, I think we've seen some things anecdotally, just on the vigor and doability, I guess I'll call it. We've started to see more guys losing calves once we've already turned out on grass and pastures during the summertime, and it makes you wonder if it isn't some of that vigor that we've lost because of a monoculture type genetic program.
Yeah, I think that's. It's likely that it is. I think foot issues, bag issues, all of those things I think come back to some of the old animal breeding principles of just having more genetic variation in the animals that we have in what's often a harsh environment.
Talk a little bit about a new program that you've got, a new test that Neogen's using that really is custom fit for a commercial producer.
Yeah, so we have a new test we've released. It's in vigor. You'll see it as Identity plus in vigor. The idea is that this is a genomic indicator of heterosis. So it wouldn't be a test that applies to a purebred breeder. It would be for somebody developing commercial heifers. It's a simple add-on test for somebody who's already doing identity testing, or it can be bought as a standalone product. But the idea is that this gives a producer a 1 through 10 score for heterosis, and with a 10 being the best and 1 being having the least amount of heterosis. It doesn't apply to specific traits like our other scores would. So we have a marbling score that's a 1 through 10 for marbling. This would be a 1 through 10 for heterosis that would actually be delivered to somebody who bought the test.
So we talk about why that's important. You'd reference some numbers on a percentage basis on basically stayability of a cow in the herd.
Yeah, so what we found when we went out and looked at stayability was in a true commercial setting that a 1 point increase was about 4.5 percentage points increase in stability. That means if an animal goes from a 4 to a 5, that their probability that they'll be in the herd at 5 years old, still as a productive cow, goes up by 4.5 percentage points. It goes from 50% to 54.5%, let's say. And to me, that's huge. I mean, we don't have EPDs that have that big of an impact on stayability. So this is a big. I think it's a very, very important and a huge number that that this test is able to deliver.
Our thanks to John Jenho joining us here, talking about genomics and how they can be utilized on a commercial basis to improve longevity and stability in a cow herd. Jamie, we'll send it back to you.
Thanks, Duane. Coming up after the break, it's this week's Kansas Soybean Update. Stay with us.
Kansas Corn reminds you that E15 fuel is the right choice for every kind of driver. For the car enthusiast, E15 has higher octane. For the thrifty driver, E15 is priced lower than regular unleaded. For the nature lover, E15 provides cleaner air. For the shopper who buys local, E15 has more ethanol from our Kansas corn farms. Choose E15 for a higher octane, lower price, cleaner American fuel. Message from the Kansas Corn Commission. Learn more at kscorn.com.
My name's Karen Cope, and I have multiple sclerosis. When you have MS, on the outside you look great, but what's really going on in the inside is chronic body pain, chronic fatigue. And there's lots of days that I'd wake up and say, oh, please God, help me get through this day. After stem cells, Chloe, my youngest daughter, she was asked by my father-in-law, how's your mom doing? And Chloe said, Grandpa, I've never had a mom like this before. Because she was 8 when I was diagnosed, and she really had no other memory of me but being sick. It's really the simple things that we do as a family, like play cards, and to be able to win at cards. They all laugh because I used to repeat myself and say, what hand are we on? Where are we at? And it's just been really a true blessing from God, and we're really thankful.
Kansans have a new choice for Medicare supplement insurance plans. With Medicare supplement insurance plans from Kansas Farm Bureau, you have access to 4 levels of coverage, affordable rates, and service from an organization that served Kansans for more than 100 years. For more information on Kansas Farm Bureau Medicare supplement plans, including rates and to apply, visit kfbhealthplans.com.
This segment brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Welcome back to Farm Factor and the Kansas Soybean Update.
This is the Kansas Soybean Update. It's brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Shelby Neal, Director of State Governmental Affairs for the National Biodiesel Board, joins us. And Shelby, for almost a decade, California's low-carbon fuel standard program has been in effect. A lot of the focus has been its effects on gasoline, but it also affects biodiesel. So what is biodiesel's role in the LCFS?
The National Biodiesel Board's been partnering with the Kansas Soybean Commission for over a decade to develop a market in California, and it's just gone amazingly well. The market for biodiesel's gone from 14 million gallons in 2011 over 800 million gallons last year. So it's just unprecedented growth, and we're really excited about this collaboration that we've had with Kansas and the results for farmers.
Now, in the low-carbon fuel standards out in California, it is an incentive for those to use the biodiesel because of the credits they're able to earn.
24 states now have comprehensive greenhouse gas reduction goals and requirements. So this is going on all around us, and the challenge is finding low-carbon alternative fuels. And biodiesel is the best one of those. It's the least expensive. It has the best carbon score of any of those. And so that brings a lot of additional value. For example, when the biodiesel plant in Wichita, Kansas sends fuel to California, they get a credit of over $1 because of the low carbon score of that fuel. So not only is it 800 million gallons in California, it's 800 very profitable gallons.
And the growth in California proves that the demand is out there for a product like biodiesel.
I would go so far as to say the people who use biodiesel just love it. It enhances the durability and performance of engines. It burns 50% cleaner. It reduces carbon by 80%. It's sold at prices that are very similar to petroleum. And we haven't had a single issue in California, ramping up from 400 million gallons to 800 million gallons. Truckers love it too. You'll see B15 to B20 at a lot of truck stops along I-70 in Kansas and other places.
Is there anything that would hamper the continued growth of biodiesel out in California?
It used to be people wanted to use 5% blends of biodiesel, and they wanted to use 10, and now 20% is actually the most common blend probably of biodiesel in the market. Well, now they want to use 50% blends of biodiesel or completely eliminate petroleum in the gallon and use 100% biodiesel. So there's still R&D work we need to do with that, with things like Underwriters Laboratory and ASTM. And, the California market, for example, is going to be 2 billion gallons by 2030.
Shelby Neal, Director of State Governmental Affairs for the National Biodiesel Board, joins us on the Kansas Soybean Update. It's brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Learn more at kansassoybeans.org. For Kansas Soybeans, I'm Greg Akagi.
After the break, Duane visits with Chad Ellis. Learn what the Noble Research Institute is and what services it offers to farmers and ranchers.
Sure Crop Fertilizers was started by my father, Don Sherman, and my mother, Shirley Sherman. Family business that started in the 80s. We predominantly focus on plant nutrients and what we can do to give growers better responses with the fertilizer dollars that they do, and what we can do to make those things work better for that grower. We're based out of Seneca, Kansas. We work with growers in their soil analysis to figure out what they need, and then we can put those in a blend that gives them the best results, and so that we can deliver that direct to their farm so that they have those nutrients where they need them, when they need them, and so that they can apply them in a manner that's very efficient to them and works well in their planting systems and what they're doing. Sure Crop Fertilizers has been around for a long time. We always say we're big enough to take care of everything you need, but we're small enough to do it quickly. You can get a hold of us at 1-800-635-4743. Our website is surecropfertilizers.com, and you can always email me at Corey@surecropfertilizers.com, and with any questions you have, and we're glad to answer and work with you.
I'm Bob Swartz, and I've devoted the last 43 years to helping Kansans reach their retirement goals and to protect the family farm. At Bob Swartz Financial, we believe everyone should be able to live the retirement they've always dreamed of. Our team of professionals can help you create an efficient strategy using a variety of investment vehicles to help you address your financial needs and your concerns. Bob Swartz Financial values commitment and transparency.
What if U.S. soybean meal were more than a commodity? If seed companies and the soybean checkoff built a better variety? That future is here. The time is now. To meet end-user demands, the Soybean Checkoff is investing in the compositional quality of soybeans, including meal. A message from the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
This segment brought to you by Sure Crop, liquid crop nutrition delivered right to your farm.
We're back. Now let's join Duane Toews as he visits with Chad Ellis from the Noble Research Institute.
Duane Toews joining him once again here on Ag AM in Kansas, and a chance to catch up with Chad Ellis with the Noble Research Institute. Chad, I got to be honest, I wanted to say foundation That, I guess, is what it used to be, but now it's gone beyond.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a great opportunity. I mean, we're actually starting our 75th year, and which is an exciting time for us. We moved over a couple of years ago to the Noble Research Institutue. We're all still the same. It's a different name, different brand, but still providing solutions for producers today. And so we still have the foundation side, which is our philanthropic arm, and then our research institute is really about that producer solutions and looking at from the basic research to applied research to our consultation service, and really focused around three key things. That's land stewardship, grazing production, as well as producer profitability.
We're thinking about the opportunity to have something like that within the state of Oklahoma. There is a land-grant university there too that is doing ongoing research, but because of the additional emphasis that the Noble family had, you're getting more bang for your buck in a sense.
No, that's exactly right. I mean, one of the things is our founder, Lloyd Noble, he founded our institution we understand that collaboration is important. We can't do it alone. We have to do it all together. And his aspect is he wanted to put his fortune in that aspect to help, amplify the extension service as well as NRCS, Natural Resource Conservation Service, from the federal government.
We're thinking about the opportunities to do that, and I'm sure you guys end up on a lot of the same panels and when we're discussing a specific issue or topic, but you do have a tremendous staff that's employed that do a tremendous amount of varied research.
We do. We're about 375 employees, all the way from our folks that are running our ranches. We have 7 different farms and ranches ourselves, so we have our own, we have skin in the game on that end from a production side. We have our basic science guys looking at the DNA genome, really looking at the soil to root interactions and those things that, it all starts right there underneath our feet at the soil, and that's our foundation to any cattle operation in the country.
Thinking about really it is kind of a living legacy that they've put in place, but continues to grow as well.
It is. I mean, it's a really exciting times, and we're trying to always find. I mean, right now we're kind of new leadership. Steve Ryan's our CEO. He's really pushing and the board of us being a national presence. And so we're looking at how can we help producers, not only in our local community that we have for 75 plus years, but how do we start expanding and helping others and leverage all this research and knowledge around the country.
Well, certainly it is based right there in Oklahoma, but you referenced that national presence. I know a lot of your researchers end up on speaking programs around the country.
Yes, sir. It's exciting. I mean, not only our researchers, but our consultants. That's one thing that we're pretty unique, and one thing that puts us a little bit different maybe than Extension or the Natural Resource Conservation Service, is that we take a multidiscipline approach. So we have livestock consultants, we have soil and crop consultants, range and pasture consultants, wildlife consultants, and kind of the glue to it all, we have economists. So we can really help kind of shape all of those and meet those goals and objectives of those landowners.
Well, thinking about that multifaceted approach, ultimately it is the bottom line, and all of those play a part.
Most definitely. I mean, if you're not profitable, you're not going to stay in business, and we know that. I mean, when we talk about sustainability, I mean that's the key leg to that operation, is being able to be sustainable and be able to hand it off to the next generation. That's important.
If people are interested in learning more, I suspect there's a website that they can go to.
That is it, noble.org. It's easy. And please come see. We got a lot of information, a lot of science, as well as just other good information to help you to be better tomorrow than you are today.
Our thanks to Chad Ellis with the Noble Research Institute joining us on Ag AM in Kansas. Jamie, we'll send it back to you.
Thanks, Duane. Come back after the break for the Kansas Farm Bureau update.
Kansas Farm Bureau has served farm families in rural Kansas for more than 100 years. We're pleased to offer new healthcare coverage choices for Kansans in 2020 through Kansas Farm Bureau Health Plans. No matter what stage of life you're in, we'll have options that fit your lifestyle. Plus, our network of providers is one of the largest available throughout the state of Kansas and beyond. For more information, including the different plans available, or to get a quote, Visit kfbhealthplants.com.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or for more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to Farm Factor and the Kansas Farm Bureau Update.
My name is Rick McNary. I'm with the Outreach Program, and behind me today we have the Kansas Young Farmers and Ranchers packaging a very nutritious and delicious meal that will go to the local food banks in their counties when they return. We've been doing this now with YF&R for 4 years, maybe 5, and we also do it at the National Convention and do this in farm bureaus around the nation. One of the things that we hear from people today is they come, they sit and listen, but they love the opportunity to actually work, to get up and do something with their hands. And of course, they're farmers and ranchers, and working hard is what they like to do best. We've turned the music down right now for the interview, but typically we have really loud music going. It's upbeat, as you can hear when everybody celebrates. When they finish a box at each table, they ring a little cowbell and celebrate their success. In the time that they will be here today, they will package 8,500 meals that they will then take back to their counties and put in their food banks and food pantries to help feed the hungry people within their own counties. We can do this all over the nation. We have kits as small as for 10 people, or we can engage 10,000. We're scalable. We travel anywhere in the U.S. So they can get a hold of me. My name is Rick McNary. They can reach me, rick@outreachprogram.org. Call my cell, 316-734-6845. And check us out on the web. It's www.outreachprogram.org.
Stay with us. We'll be back after the break with Plain Talk.
Kansas Corn reminds you that E15 fuel is the right choice for every kind of driver. For the car enthusiast, E15 has higher octane. For the thrifty driver, E15 is priced lower than regular unleaded. For the nature lover, E15 provides cleaner air. For the shopper who buys local, E15 has more ethanol from our Kansas corn farms. Choose E15 for a higher octane, lower price, cleaner American fuel. Message from the Kansas Corn Commission. Learn more at kscorn.com.
At Farm Credit, we partner with America's farmers who work hard each and every day to grow the food that we all enjoy. It's not an easy task, but it's an important one. Farm Credit is proud to work with farmers and ranchers, lending support in rural America.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. Your stem cells, your health, your life.
Welcome back. Now let's see what Kyle and Duane are up to on Plain Talk.
Hi, this is Kyle Bauer with Plain Talk. With the guy who always says doing things smart doesn't cost near as much as doing things stupid, Duane Toews.
Boy, and I continue to live that ritual.
Live that one every day.
Oh, you know, it's
like,
kind of like old John Wayne saying, life's hard, it's harder when you're stupid.
Boy, I say that to myself regularly. I make sure nobody thinks I'm talking to them when I'm saying it.
What was I thinking?
Exactly. I'll tell you what you were thinking. You weren't thinking, Duane.
Yeah.
Just like what your dad always said.
Words from my dad right there. Only he never gave you a chance to,
No, he never even put a comma in there.
Yeah, no, there was no gap for me to answer, which is good, because as a
you'd have probably
teenage
answered.
boy, I'd have been dumb enough to say something inappropriate. Your fact or fiction question of the day, Kyle Bauer, the sound of thunder.
Okay.
Is literally coming from clouds running into each other. Fact or fiction?
Fiction.
Yeah.
No.
You know what it is?
It's charges, isn't it? Going between the two? It isn't.
Hot air vibrating around a lightning bolt.
Okay. All right. Well, that's kind of charges.
Well, it's hot air vibrating.
But that's what thunder is. And because you got that crack because basically the air is expanding so fast that it breaks the sound barrier.
It's hot.
You know, when I was a kid, might have been before your time, when I was a kid, we used to hear sonic booms somewhat regularly.
From an airplane?
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you ever remember a time in your life that way?
Once in a hayfield. Thought I was going to die.
So it was pretty close.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you lived somewhat in the neighborhood of
close
Wichita.
to McConnell Air Force Base.
Right.
Some of those guys, every now and then, would find it a bit humorous and would fill their day with joy to come up over the top of somebody in a field.
But they didn't break a sonic boom. They were just buzzing you.
Yeah. No, I think they boomed it.
Well, I remember my worst one. See, the guys at Sac Air Base in Omaha would go down and make a bombing run. They were Air Force Reserve or Navy Reserve, whatever. They would work their day, then they'd jump in their jet, go down and make a strafing run on the bombing range there at Salina and be home in time for supper.
Uh-huh.
But they would come by pretty low every once in a while. One day I am pulling up to the diesel tank with a tractor at an idle with the door open, had a cab with the door open, and that guy came from behind me at probably 100 feet off the ground.
Oh.
And it was... And all of a sudden, and I was just all of a sudden, I was pulling up to a fuel barrel with the tractor at an idle, and I thought something had literally blown up. And then I saw him, and then I got out my hammer and threw it at him. No, it's...
I'll get you, my pretty.
I think it took more than an hour for my heart to start again. I remember it like it was yesterday.
I don't remember that many sonic booms, but it was not uncommon for them to buzz over the top of somebody in a field.
Yeah, I thought they kind of outlawed them, if you will, because the sonic booms literally would shake the glass in your house. And that's any time a airplane gets over about, 680 miles an hour? Is that the speed of sound?
Is that Mach 1?
It is Mach 1.
Okay.
Yeah, and I guess they try to do it in not overpopulated areas because I know there's aircraft that'll go over Mach 1.
Right.
But it's interesting how close jetliners fly to that. I mean, you're the guy that when we fly watches the little thing, and they're usually
there with all the details.
And they're usually about 620 miles an hour?
Roughly.
Yeah. I mean,
they're humming along.
Yeah.
Sure a lot faster than a 2-lane road on a backcountry highway.
Thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Jamie Bloom, and I hope you enjoyed today's show. See you next week on Farm Factor.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.